As we begin a new year, we typically make resolutions or goals, things that we want to accomplish this year. This year, I'm going to stick to my budget. This year, I'm going to find Mr. or Mrs. Right, or I'm not going to be left alone under the mistletoe this year, or I'm not going to eat chips and salsa at night. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to read my Bible. We do these things, these resolutions or goals, because we want to try to have a better year. Well, today we want to look at a passage in John chapter 10. And Jesus doesn't just want us to have a better year. He wants you to have a better life. So how does this happen? Well, I want to look at a few things. I want to work through the passage and look at what this means for us as we think about our own life, as we evaluate our own life, even as we make our resolutions and our goals. What does a better life look like? Well, John 10, Jesus is telling us a parable. He's telling us a story. And he's telling us this story, and he's using sheep and a shepherd as an illustration. Well, at this time there was a lot of shepherding was a common occupation. So he would have had the attention of his audience. But today, I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people that are shepherds or who own sheep. So what does this mean for us? What can we take away from this? Well, Jesus has given us a great comparison. He's using two different types of people, either the thief or the shepherd. And which one of these two people do you think has a better life for you? So right away he goes into the story and he talks about this sheepfold. This is the place where the sheep they have where they sleep, where they kind of hang out during the night. This is their refuge. This is their safe place. And there's huge walls that enclose over top of the sheepfold. So robbers or thieves can't get in, or sheep can't try to sneak out, or even predators, animals can't get in. So anybody that's gonna take the time to climb over the wall is a thief, and Jesus calls them out. He says anybody that's trying to get over the wall, they're a thief. And I thought about this, like, what about your own sheepfold? What about your home? What about your refuge? Is there anything that's trying to come in and do you harm? Not have your best interest? You need to be very careful of what you are allowing into your sheepfold, into your home, into your life, whether it be through what you're listening to or what you're watching or the friends that you have. You need to be very careful. But he tells the opposite, that the shepherd comes through the gate. The gate is a single door where only the shepherd comes through. And the shepherd comes through and he knows the sheep. And the sheep know him. See, the shepherd has only good things for the sheep. The shepherd has their best interest at heart. And we need to recognize that the shepherd in this story is the one that wants to see you succeed, wants to see you have this better life. But Jesus also mentions somebody called the gatekeeper. Now, the gatekeeper was a very important role. This was like the bouncer of the sheep world. The gatekeeper's main responsibility was to not let thieves in and to only let the shepherd in. So keep the thieves out, let the shepherd in. And I was thinking, what about you as the gatekeeper for your life? And a couple of thoughts and a couple of questions to think about. What voices am I listening to? And who am I following? What voices am I listening to, or who am I following? See, Jesus continues in his story And he talks about how the sheep recognize his voice and they follow him. A couple of key things here. What voices are you listening to? For me, I know that if my boys are ever in a crowd of people and I call out their names and they will come running, not anybody else with that name. Why do they come? Because I'm a trusted voice. And the shepherd in this story is a trusted voice. They trust the voice of the shepherd. And think about following. There's a leadership guru, a guy named John Maxwell, and he says this, that followers are only good as the leaders they are following. Followers are only as good as the leaders they are following. We need to be so careful, friends, who we are following. Following on social media, following just in our social groups. Who are people that are having influence in you? You need to be careful. And he talks about also that the sheep run from those things that are strange. I don't know the last time that you were maybe even on social media going through Reels or TikTok. There is a lot of strange stuff out there. A lot of strange ideas, a lot of strange people. I want to tell you, friends, you got to run from that stuff. Don't even give it a second thought. Get out of there. Well, Jesus, he's telling this story and he pauses to let the audience know that they're just not getting it. They're not making the connection. So he knows he has to shift a little bit. And remember, this is Jesus telling the story and people are not getting it. So if you're ever reading your Bible and it doesn't make any sense, that's okay. Keep reading it. Keep learning. So Jesus decides to make it personal. And he tells them that he is the gate and he is also the shepherd. Jesus is both the gate and the shepherd, the one that we can come through him and the one that has our best interests at heart. See, he talks about that you can come through the gate and you can be saved. You can find salvation. There's a thing called sin in it, and it keeps us from this better life. It actually messes up the better life pretty badly. Turns it into chaos. Jesus says, I will give you salvation. But he also tells us that it's a choice, that we can come and go as we want. And that for some of us, you need to decide whether you want this best life that Jesus has for you or you don't. And you want to go to what the thief has for you. Jesus breaks down what the thief is trying to do for you. He tells us that the thief's main purpose is only to steal, kill, and destroy. Now, when you read this story, automatically you will think the thief is the devil, which you would be correct. He definitely falls into this category. But anybody, anyone, any person, anything that is trying to pull you away from the better life that Jesus has for you, you need to consider them a thief. What is the thief trying to do? Is steal, kill, and destroy. How do we break this down for us? Maybe he wants to steal your joy. He wants to take that away from you. He doesn't want you to have the joy, or steal your innocence or your purity or potential. What about kill? There might be some people watching this that they're doing harmful things to themselves because they don't like the life that they have, or they're putting things in their body that are only hurting them. You're killing yourself with the things that you're doing when Jesus says, I got a better life for you. Or destroy your potential, destroy your marriage, your family, you. That's what the thief is there to do. But Jesus says, I want to give you a rich and satisfying life. Jesus, friends, has a better life for you. So here's an exercise that you can do. Put on a piece of paper, 1, 2, 3. First thing is say personal, second thing spiritual, and then third line, a goal or dream. In the personal, put what this year I want to personally see as a better life for myself? Spiritually, put what do you see spiritually achieving a better life? And then I want you to write a goal or a dream that you have, that by the end of this year that you would have completed. Because remember, friends, Jesus wants to give you a rich and satisfying life. Jesus wants to give you a better life.